Yeah? Yeah? Are we here or are we fucking here, yeah? Are you blazed? RGR's back, yeah? Yeah? We're back with a full grid first race of the season. Yeah? Yeah? Fucking fit, man. What a start to the season, everybody. I'm on comms. I am your league owner and commentator, Silent Pistol. And thank you all for watching. If you are watching, I mean, you know, you probably fucking won't if you know, this is a past broadcast. I don't know who actually sits through a solid past broadcast when they haven't raced in a F1 league. But we're here. We're ready. We're ready and rumbling for a fucking season opener. Come on now, boys. Yeah? This is going to be gas. This is going to be incredible. Season 2 is here. Season 1 was great. We had some lovely moments on track through our 10-race season, but now we've upgraded that to 12, and it's going to be more action, more entertainment, more battles, more championship-defining moments here in RGR. So if you haven't already, and you haven't watched these streams before, you haven't even joined our server, please follow us on this account. You probably need to talk on the Twitch chat and say, hey, I want to join the league, and I can tell you how. Because there's not really a link that you can join through a DM, because I'm a bit stupid. No, I don't really know how to do that. But I'm not stupid in getting drivers in, because we have got a full grid for tonight. Fucking come on, man. Yeah? RG fucking R. We are here, lads. We are here. We are here, ready, raring to rumble. Hopefully there's some mental moments on the circuit. And to be fair, the top 10, being only separated by, you know, 8 tenths, really isn't that bad. Really is not that bad. I mean, granted, at the back of the grid, we do have drivers who just haven't really got the pace, but that's fine. Realistically, I've always said this, even though the likelihood of you getting a full seat will be down to your pace, you know, I value the loyalty and the consistency more than anything. If you turn up every single race, and I mean every single bloody race, you never miss one, you're gassed about it, you know, you always enjoy racing, I'm always going to give you a good time here. You're always going to be racing. If you're new to the league and you're quicker than that guy, then I will put you in his seat. If you are not committed and you don't turn up for 3 races in the season, just not in a row anymore, just like that's just a fact. If you don't have for 3 races in the season, unfortunately, you will be binned off for the guy who's consistent. That's just a fact. But yeah. We're in the last runs of this qualifying session. SileFX99, George Pudding, and Christian all gonna go for it. It's gonna be fit. So fit. You won't even know it. Bizarre has a driving position. He does stream, by the way. Bizarre 1986 TTV. He does actually stream, so he'll probably be streaming this race on his Twitch. Don't need this one to watch that, because, you know, I want my viewers, mate. Do you know what I mean? Nah, but, you know, if you want to go watch his stream, then you bloody well can. If you don't, like, in RGR, pretty much, when I'm commentating, I'm not going to really take it too seriously. I take this league seriously, obviously, but commentating, nah. I just take the piss and I scream every 2 seconds. Of course, if there's something that's really, really important to a championship or something, I'll be serious and I'll deliver something serious, but, like, most of the time, this is just really just chilling and spectating this. It's not going to be a proper sweaty comms. Well, I can't swear, I can't say anything that, you know, disowns this brand, this league. That's fine, mate. I don't care. Like, it's just going to be me chatting to you lot. Anything that happens on track, we'll see what happens on track. But yeah, Side is behind, I believe that's Cal. Yes, AERT Cal, who has started a lap as well as Side. And Side being, you know, in the top 3, sorry, very well could be getting some dirty air here, as he could not actually get pole position. But here we go, folks. 33 milliseconds between George Pudding and Christian has not done another lap, which could mean, folks, George Pudding right now, 40 milliseconds, sorry, up on his lap. He would currently take pole, the first pole in Season 2 in RGR. We're going to go down the straight here. Side now going down the straight. I don't know what he's up by, if he is up by anything that is, as we go in the second sector, a 10th up is Christian. Side has invalidated his lap time. It's all on George Pudding. Sorry, 10th up is George Pudding. It's all on George Pudding to claim pole position for the first time here in Season 2. Third sector, here we go. The last third sector he has to do in this entirety of the qualifying session. Round the last turn, he's going to shortly go. Can he clench it? Can he get the big spot? Mohammed Akan in P3 with the 16 dead. Narrowly missing out on George Pudding's 15.966. Is it going to be improved? Yes, it will. A 15.833. That is good enough to clinch yourself the first pole position of this season. But Joe the Super, 1/10 and 88 milliseconds up on his lap time. Is it enough to get himself in the top 3? No, it's not. The two Haskars, P3 and P2, P3 and P4, having a lovely time out on that circuit. Umar's 5th. Close quali between the top 6 here, lads. George Pudding, obviously, did get that 1/10 in the end. That does go better than Christian. But, folks, although the back of the grid is, you know, quite wishy-washy, this grid between the top, I'd say probably top 7, top 8, quite close in their lap times, really. I think there was, like, kind of 4 or 5 people in Bahrain in the first race ever in RGR was in Bahrain. And I think those first 5 people were kind of close, and then the rest of the grid was just, like, 5/10 off. This, I mean, you do have that drop between 11th and 12th, but this is pretty fit. And honestly, between 13th and the bottom, it's not even that big of a gap between some drivers. But George Pudding, the Ferrari, grazie. Ferrari is top spot. George Pudding, well done to him. Christian 2nd, Mohammed Akan 3rd. Mate, this is going to be a gasolini. This is going to be a lovely little race we're going to have here, I reckon. And hey, listen, I think this is obvious, but I will say it anyways. Australia just fucking bangs in this game. It just bangs. ART Cal is 7th. I did, you know, think to myself, this guy could be near the top spots here, the likes of Mohammed Akan and Joe the Super, because his time trials are actually quite quick. Hasn't proved that pace so far in this race, but that's fine. We've got plenty of races to go. We've got 12 races. Previously, of course, we had 10 in our first season. Espanol fan was 4/10 up till I'm validated. That's dead. Formation lap is off. I said that inside of the chat. So if you lot don't do it, if you lot don't follow suit, you know, hold my hands up. Not on me. Not on me. Do you know what I mean? I did say we'll go straight to racing here right after the whatnot. Let me check the settings as well. Just so I'm the park formation is on. This is absolutely fine. Formation lap off, obviously. So yeah, settings are completely fine for this. We're ready to race, lads. Yeah, don't get it twisted. The RGR League is here. Get ready to go racing. 20 drivers battle it out in Australia. Let's see what's going to happen. George Pudding on the top spot. Christian, who dominated last season, also behind him. It's 2, 3, 4, and it's 5 red lights. And it is green light. Go. We get racing here in Australia. Going down towards that first turn. It looks like George Pudding gets away with a great start. Christian, though, is going to look down the inside into that first turn. They're side by side between the Ferrari and the Mercedes. And it looks like the Ferrari does go ahead. Mohammed Akan in the background. Multiple collisions potentially in the background here. Multiple drivers dropping down. But George Pudding, Christian, side by side again. George Pudding still taking that top spot as Mohammed Akan, who is behind Christian, was side by side. But he is no longer. It's Collins at the back. Mouths in a wall. Unfortunately for him, side by side between Berzer and ART Cal, who's dropped all the way down here into 95. He's on a wall! He's on a fucking wall! Already! He's been tossed into a wall. Mid-table, look at all this action here. The V-Cops, side by side, look down the straight. Zuxi getting overtaken by Charlie and coming down into this left-hander. It looks like George Pudding is still going to be leading away from Christian, who has got the hards on. He's looking for the opposite strategy. What can he produce with that? We'll have to see later on. There's definitely a gap here between Shazzy and RBX here. Not too sure what happened to ALT Cal the fact he was initially in that low position. I really hope that that's not any other driver's fault. It might. Oh, Charlie coming through there on Umar. Just didn't have a really good entry there. It's Infinite Trout. And Chazzy has made a mistake there on the first lap. He's fucked it into a wall. It's unfortunate for him. Cal's been murdered by everyone. That's not good. That's not great. Obviously, we'll look at that after the stewarding. There's still, you know, quite a lot of laps left, so I wouldn't really count him out of it. There will probably be a safety car if this kind of action goes. A side-by-side here between Soullock and RBXJB. Down here in 10th and 9th. Down the inside goes RBXJB on his teammate Soullock. But Soullock's still going to take the inside line going into this lap. Ah! He's fucked it! He's wound! And he's down now in P12. I think he understeered into RBXJB there. And unfortunately, he'll be down into P13. Not great for him. But look at this battle for the top spot here, folks. Christian, George Pudding, and Christian is going to take the lead here in Australia with those hard tyres. He is still looking mighty quick against George Pudding, despite George Pudding having the better tyres. Yeah, this doesn't seem too good. I think Cal just went into the pit lane, if my estimations are correct. Yeah, he hasn't got any wing damage. Awful start, obviously, for people who have been murdered, unfortunately. You know, that's just not great. Obviously, we're going to take a look at it after the stewarding, so anything that does get put in, I personally look at it myself. And yeah, hopefully, it wasn't too mental. Of course, sometimes it just is, and it's just like, you know, that's definitely going to be a 10-sec or whatnot, but hopefully whatever happened to him, or whatever happened to anybody else really in this race, wasn't too crazy. But yeah, down the straight we're going to go, and George Pudding, being tactical here, into the straight he goes. He's going to put it in none. And save up his ERS so that he can bomb it down the straight later. Of course, Sin and Koch and Granite are going to go side by side here, and Sin and Koch will get the overtake. There on the Ferrari of Granite. Very nice stuff. That's Vantage Pandas for the 3-second time later multiple warnings. Jackinator going to go ahead of Vantage Pandas. Vantage Pandas is in a wall. He is more than in a wall. He's going to go straight on. Holy fucking shit. He's fucked it. Jesus bloody H Christ. He retires from the session. That's not something you want to see. That'll be duly noted. That's not great. I don't want to see anything like that in my first race of the season. Literally first race of the season, we're already doing this. Don't want that at all. He will get stern talking to after this race. I don't want any bollocks like that happening in this league. We had a firm rule against Tyler Adams. I said to Tyler Adams, listen mate, you're not doing any of that bullshit here where you're just going straight into a wall and causing a safety car for no reason. He will probably get a race ban for that. I really don't like it when people do that. So, not a great way to start your campaign here in Season 2. But either way, we progress on. The top spots still having a battle at the Jackinator. Into the pits. Did he get damage off of that start? I think this has been absolutely mental nutcase stuff. As drive-throughs for multiple drivers. Is that Mohammed with one of them? Yes, it is. And someone's in a wall. That's Hazuxi. He's also bent it in a wall. Side Effects 99 with a drive-through as well. And Dunnington looked to go here on Jay the Super. Side Effects 99 has thrown this start away. Had a fantastic start, staying in this top 5. And now all of a sudden, a drive-through penalty right at the start is duly going to be messing up his race. Chazzy speeding into the pits. He's retiring very early on this race. Not something we want to see either. Benny as we progress on. Berserk in P13 here. George Pudding versus Christian. Is this the lineup for the championship, folks? Mohammed Akun, he's gonna have to be begging for a safety car here very, very soon to ensure that he does not drop out of this fight due to this time penalty. Is he going to go ahead and go into the pit lane now and serve it? Yes, he will. I'm not bothered about people cutting the pit lane. Some of the leagues are. Me, no, I don't care. If you cut the pit lane entry and exit, I'm not bothered. But yeah, Mohammed into the pit, sorry. Drive through, as well as Umar. Hazuxi's also into the box. It's a very hectic start here. Hazuxi is an incredible driver. Last season was extremely good in staying between the top spot consistently. Now he finds himself a P15. Very, very strange. But it looks like to me to be George Pudding versus Christian for this Australian race win. Interesting here. Well, a hectic race off the start. I will say, is that good? Probably not. But you know, we've got 12 rounds this season. Season 1 was a little bit hectic as side overtaking Joe the Super here down into this right-hander. I think Joe the Super can just stay calm as oh, side by side here. Fucking hell! It's the Mercedes and the McLaren. They absolutely doss it into each other. As Granite looking to go for a potential move here. As Umar does get an overtake on Senan Koch. I think he just went off wide there. As here comes Granite going down into this right-hander here. Lock up there by Bazaar. But he keeps it under control. Very nicely done. And he keeps his P11 for now. Side. Getting overtaken here by Joe the Super. And Charlie was looking for a move at the inside between... well, deciding against it, obviously. And now Bazaar overtaking Pirillo. Pirillo must have made a mistake on the exit of that turn here. Umar, Granite right up behind Pirillo. Surely he's not going to send it into the first turn. No, he does not. He brakes quite early, actually. And oh no! Fucking hell! Bazaar's round! That's a bit mental. But yeah. This is a very interesting start to the race. A lot of chaos. But at the same time, a lot of people still actually keeping within each other. Like Umar and Malm. And Malm is round. Actually, never mind. Malm is round. Not think you want to see. Well, Cal with the hards here. Don't count him out because I am predicting Safety Car 2 come out. It is on increase, by the way. It just should be. If I haven't got it on increase, that is, you know, not good. Yeah, it's on increased. Increased and immersive. So, really, any big moment big shunt that's gonna happen will be, potentially a safety car and side with the drive-through coming through. I assume he's gonna be quite low down here. Might be, you know, within P10, which, you know, isn't too bad, I guess, but you know, it's something you want to see at all. But yeah, side, out the pit lane he comes, and he's going to go again in 9th now. 2.5 seconds behind Mohammed Akun, who was ahead of him, I believe, by just a little bit. Not by 2.5 seconds earlier. But now becomes the question of, can Mohammed Akun try and carve through this race, get past Soul Lock, get past Infinite Trout, and get something mental going on. Mohammed Akun, DRS, he's going to go to the inside of this V-Cup here. Around the outside, he's going to look to go here on the V-Cup. He is really staying side by side of Soul Lock, and he got a bit of contact there going into this left-hander. Bloody hell, Soul Lock really not backing down. And look at this here, a bit of, I think, collision, a bit of a moment there between Jackanate and Pirillo. Pirillo still there. Mohammed Akun is past Soul Lock. He looks up to Infinite Trout. And Infinite Trout is not an amazing driver. I think he said that himself. Really said it to my DMs. He said, you know, I'm not a fantastic driver. That's 3-second time penalty for George Pudding. Now, it's very easy to get a 3-second time penalty chalked off here in RGR. All you have to do is lose time to the driver behind you, and you will get your 3-second time penalty removed. If you get a 3-second, and you know you slow down, and somebody behind you, you know, goes quick, you will get that removed. And the reason why I do that is because I think it's really, really silly how easy A, you get time penalties in this race, in races, and B, nobody wants to see a championship battle or a race win be decided on a 3-second time penalty. Nobody wants to see that. Absolutely nobody. So I am going to, you know, inherit that rule. Love to see, by the way, that Cal's not retired from the session. I think a lot of drivers would have in his position. Pirillo, likewise. I think anybody at the back of the grid who really have not had a nice time, likewise. You know, obviously there's come a conversation that's the bare minimum. But honestly, when you're just starting out a league, the bare minimum is well good enough. Do you know what I mean? I had to realise that very, very early on when I tried my other leagues. None of them have ran as long as this. But this RGR I'm very committed about. I'm really happy to see the mold of this league kind of come together and kind of be what I want it to be, and having people just generally race and have a nice time, and that's all you can ask for at the end of the day. It's all you can ask for. But yeah, we look at the top spots. Christian and George Pudding, and don't forget, folks, Mohammed Akun was up there. Sodefx 99 was up there before the unfortunate drive-throughs on the VSC. That, by the way, should not have been caused if Andres Pan just didn't go straight in the wall. So he's going to get stern talking to off this race. I don't like it at all when you do that. Yeah, for certain, you know, he's going to get a talking to. Charlie, up the inside of Joe the Super here as we go into this left-hander. The side-by-side through the chicane. Round the outside goes the Alpine now. The Haas cuts the corner, I believe, just a little bit there. DRS now going to be used down the straight for the Alpine. Can he get past Joe the Super? I don't think he could on that occasion. And Mohammed Akun does get the overtake on Infinite Trout. Definitely getting some good pace going here, Mohammed Akun. As Sollock also getting the 3-second time penalty. Sodefx 99 going to be trying to catch up behind him and get himself a position as well. DRS going to be utilised by Umar. Going into this third sector, he was also quite quick. I think he was also the driver who got a drive-through as well. Not great, obviously. And Hazuxi also, I think he had a very unfortunate start. And Hazuxi now trying to battle through this grid, trying to battle up towards some good points here tonight. But I am going to reiterate, I really love seeing drivers not quitting. And that's unfortunate for Sollock. He is round. Not had a fantastic time. He's going to go into the pit lane here with hards on. He might retire, honestly, which I wouldn't love, but I like, you know, sometimes you have to be like, okay, it is fair enough. Infinite Trout in the pits. Berserk in the pits. Sorry, Berserk's not in the pits, man. Continue on. Sollock, is he going to go for a 2-stop here? I think by his own choice he will, because I have said we are going to incorporate a 2-stop mandatory for races that are needed it, like Britain. Britain's a track, for example, where you do need both sides of the coin to have a 2-stop, because it's unfair, quite frankly, for wheel users. And Umar and Side going to go side by side down this straight here. And Umar is past Sodefx 99. Very nicely done. ERS down the straight now for Side. Is he going to send it on him? No, we don't. I don't think he was either. But Charlie and Joe the Super having a very nice battle here. Joe the Super, if he can catch up to George Pudding, which he can't right now, could overtake him in the game with 3-second time penalty. As Charlie on the inside into the first turn, that's unlikely to see, as the Haskell will now cut the corner. Onto the grass he goes, but Charlie is past. That could be a barrage to pass. That might be a time penalty for the Alpine. It's down the inside, goes the Haas. There's a bit of contact between the two of them. Was that enough room left there? I don't think so. But Side in the pits there for some hards. Boxing a lap 11. Will some drivers follow suit? Joe the Super into his right-hander here. Yes, and DRS. I would love a... you know, I don't... Oh, Malmo! Off the track there as well. Not great to see as well. Or Malm, sorry. Malmo 7. Yeah, I don't really want to see any drivers going off track or having a mental moment. And, you know... Especially when it's caused by another driver. Especially for... Pirillo has retired in the pits, unfortunately. That is not great. But... Yeah, sometimes when you retire into the pits when you're behind the grid by like 14, 15, 40 seconds, like I can understand it. But yeah, it's not ideal for a league owner, that's for sure. And that's going to be... George Pudding is in the pits, I believe. Yes, he is! Onto the hards he goes. Now, this is the question, right? Obviously, Christian on hards. George Pudding now coming out on hards. He's going to have a solid, what, 4 laps on way better tyres than Christian. So the question becomes, can George Pudding jump? Oh, is that Mercedes into the wall there? What was that? In the background there? I have no clue what that was. I thought that was somebody just dipped it into the wall, but apparently not. Looks like Tom and me are going to have a bit of an issue with shimming after this race, but that's fine. We can get through that. But yeah, George Pudding. The question is, can he jump Christian when Christian eventually comes to the pit lane, because he's got way better tyres than Christian, and really, quite frankly, if I'm being completely honest, you probably should be. You probably should be getting the undercut kind of done. He could be clearing him by 3, 4, 5 seconds. But then the question comes again, it's flipped on its head, is can Christian overtake him with the fresher tyres? Looks to be an entertaining race we've got going on here, right up until the end in terms of the winner. Berserk weaving ahead of Infinite Trout, as Infinite Trout right on the back of Berserk. I believe he has got the better pace than Infinite Trout. And Berserk, side by side they're going to go, and the Williams is ahead. Now here comes the Red Bull, round the outside. Can he go for it? The Williams, oh, he's hit the back of him! He's hit the back of him! And the Red Bull is round. And Sinan Koch not having a nice time there as well. And up the inside, oh, Gurusolo excited though, very close there with his teammate. That's very lucky to not see any damage or collision happen between the two of them. George Pudding looks to be quite quick here, and definitely could be miles ahead, as I think that's Umar with a mistake as well. Lots of people making mistakes here on the first race of the season. Interesting to see. But yeah, after this we go to Suzuka. I thought I'd be a bit more experimental with the calendar, except for like easy tracks. I wanted to pick easy tracks in the first race of the season, so we didn't get anybody killing each other. Suzuka's not one of those tracks. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of DNFs by people, considering we've, you know, got some people not having a nice time here. If so, not great, but something that we can always improve on. Side of X99 here, right at the back of Infinite Trout, and he's ahead of Infinite Trout. Nice overtake there for side. He's now trying to get back on some people. Previously, of course, were behind him. Some people still needing to pit. Of course, that is one of those is Granite, who needs to box very, very soon. Mohammed, and he's going to take his box now. Now, will So be able to undercut him? That's the question. Look at the amount of gap. Look at the gap between George Pudding and Christian. 17 seconds now. Christian really needs to hold off for quite a little bit here. He's going to pit around lap 17, 16. And his side can actually undercut Mohammed Khan, sorry. Because if he will, that will be greatly beneficial. And he does! It's side by side between Infinite... Oh, maybe. Sorry. Almost side by side there. Between Infinite Trout and Mohammed Khan. But yeah. Joe the Super. Up against Charlie. This would be for the battle for P3, I believe. Which is very nice. A very nice little battle to see going on here between two drivers without any penalties either. That is also lovely. As down the street we're going to go here with Joe the Super and the Alpine. Is it going to be side by side? Into the chicane. Down the inside goes the Haskell. Around the outside goes the Alpine. They're still side by side. And it looks like the Haskell still keeping his wits about him as he goes down the straight again. Side by side. And the Haskell has cleared him. Lovely little bit of racing between Joe the Super and Charlie. It's a lovely bit of racing going on at the moment here. Granite, is he going to send it on the Jackinator? No, he's not. There you go. Charlie, DRS down the straight, we're going to go. Obviously staying behind. This is going to be quite bad for Christian, I believe. I mean, what did George Pudding do? I think he did like 12 laps on medium, sorry. 12 laps on mediums for Christian is going to be until lap 17. Of course, lap 17, if he boxes, he is going to be way behind George Pudding. And I think George Pudding could have this race under wraps if he keeps a good, consistent pace until the end. Of course, if the hards desperately drop off, all of a sudden, you know, something happens and, you know, maybe Christian can come back and win this race. But honestly, George Pudding is having a lovely time driving about in his hards. Probably cut the corner there, but, you know, we'll ignore that. Mam into the box as well. He's put on the mediums. And Charlie down the straight again. We're going to go with him. He's going to brake early, trying to get a better exit rather than entry against this Haas. And Christian has boxed, I believe, quite early there. He has boxed. Is that going to be enough? George Pudding round the last turn. He's going to go. Christian just come out the pit lane now. It's going to be, I think, pretty close to the exit here. Christian has been cleared, though. He has been cleared there by George Pudding. Yes, he has. But just by how much, though? That's the question. If it's more than 3 seconds, he's well within range of winning here. It's more than 3 seconds. It is more than 3 seconds. It's 4.3. It's a big moment in this race. As here comes Charlie. Is he going to send down the inside into the first turn? Yes, he will. Contact between the two of them. The hazards off the grass, sorry. And Charlie's lost a bit of a time to him there. Rough racing. And Hazuxi's in P5 there. Lovely to see for him. I really did rate driving with Hazuxi last season. I thought he was a great, clean driver. I want to see a bit more of that this season. I want to see him really perform well. As Granite, they're getting overtaken by Mohammed. The Alpine into the right-hander. Well, it seems since the start, there hasn't been too many mental moments as in somebody taking to the route. There has been a few spins here and there, which is to be expected in a race. But nothing I would say, you know, has been detrimental by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, definitely the drive-throughs is silly, but, like, you know, that's not anybody else's fault. Do you know what I mean? I think my stream just glitched quite hard there. I do apologise because of that. But here we go. The Jackinator versus the Red Bull. Round the outside goes the Alpine on the Red Bull side. Sitting behind, watching all of this occurring. Into the right-hander we're going to go. The Jackinator's got significantly worse tyres than Side. And Side's going to feint the inside move. It's bumper cars as we go into the last two turns. Down the straight we're going to surely go. Jackinator behind Hazuxi. Down the straight. DRS. ERS. Is it going to be three abreast? This is extremely close here between these drivers. Into that first turn. And Side down the inside. He's going to go now around the outside. He's going to go into this left-hander. Bit of contact there, but nothing to be too alarmed at. Nothing serious. As I think Side's going to get this move completed into the right-hander. There's a bit of contact, I believe, with the V-Carb and Mohammed. But Mohammed's staying behind, being methodical, being calm. I'm trying to perform well here. Into the right-hander we're going to go. And Side with a nice move. He's now set his sights on Hazuxi. I believe the most that Side can get is P5 tonight. I don't think he's going to catch up to Charlie unless it's a safety car that comes out. ERS down the straight, DRS as well. Here comes the Jackinator, right up behind. Side effects 99, nothing serious happened between them though. The RBX overtaking Hazuxi as well. Down the straight, is Mohammed going to get this guy? Quickest lap by Christian. He's within 3 seconds currently, of course, if there's going to be a removal of a time penalty from the race. Whenever I see 3-second time penalty, I always just think to myself, he hasn't got it, because you know, he will, you know, he will probably send in a clip saying this is not it, and he'll probably get this removed. So I'm going to commentate on this like that, like kind of, not the penalty didn't happen, but like the penalty didn't happen. So we're going to do that. And RBX with a 3-second time penalty, let's see here. See, he lost time. He lost 30 milliseconds, but 30 milliseconds and 30 milliseconds, that could be the decider between the start of the race and the end of the race. So yeah, that would be removed, for example. RBX has won there. But yeah. Side versus Mohammed for P5 here. This is what we're going to look at between these two. For the battle for the last spot on the podium, but nevertheless, a spot for the podium, will between Joe the Super and Charlie. Now, Christian is going to be closing down on George, putting by quite a little bit, and I believe Joe just nicked the grass there. Not fantastic, by a stretch of the imagination. But yeah, here we go. Christian, again, knocking out the park with the pace on these mediums. And this battle's on for P1. We've got 9 laps left. These mediums, I think, will drop off, though, by around lap 25. And if they're still battling by then, of course, then comes the question, can, you know, Christian keep his tyres in shape and actually win the race? Sinan Kochel with a time penalty. Down the straight we're going to go. And Mohammed Akan is now going to take P5. As behind him goes RBX JB. Down the inside is going to go. Oh my fucking God! He's mad at him! Sent it down the inside. And Mohammed has been taken out of this race. That will be a penalty after this race. Really, you shouldn't send it down the inside like that into the first turn here in Australia. It just simply can't be done. He tried it, got too cheeky, but here's Charlie trying to get cheeky around the outside of the Haskar. And he does get the manoeuvre done. Really nice manoeuvre. there from Charlie. And Joe the Super's got a 3-second time penalty. Down the strip, going to go back again. Here comes Joe. Down the inside, he's going to go on the Alpine. But round the outside goes the Charlie. And Charlie still going to keep the position for now. But into the right-hander, down the inside, still goes the Haskell. Lovely little battle here between these two. And the Alpine does stay ahead for now. But yeah, here we go. Down the straight again with Joe the Super. Side by side, down the straight. Around the outside goes the Alpine, trying to hold it. He thinks he's on the track. Oh, big moment then. The Alpine. I don't think he was given enough room there between himself and Joe the Super. I think that would be a penalty after this race. That was quite the big moment, folk. But Christian, can he get this move down the straight for P1 in this race again? Yes, he can. DRS being used. And he does get it clear. And Christian now leading this race. But the question becomes, can the man in P1 preserve his tyres until the end without any pops, really? Boxing on lap 15, 14 laps leads mediums. I know he's a wheel user. I know, you know, wheel users have better tyre management than controller users. But, nevertheless, that could still happen, and I hope it does happen. Not in that way. Not like I hate Christian, but I want drama. I want a bit of drama in a potential championship battle, because I'm seeing really. This first race, in my opinion, hasn't been a complete and entire, you know, representation of people's pace. The drive-throughs definitely did something. People getting murdered definitely did something. I mean, Cal should not be last place. And I do apologise for Cal. And I really rate Cal for still doing this race. He's been literally back of the grid every single lap since the first. And he's still kept his wits. Still decided to keep on racing. And that's the commitment that I definitely want in RGR. So I'd love to see that going for him. Hopefully I don't say that. And I mean, I'm going to be completely openly and honest with you, lads. It could be that at the end of this race, and I go back in the GP1 chat, and you know we've got people talking about how they might leave the league because it's too dirty, and you know it's happened before to me. Trust me, like a whole world of people just completely leaving because of one race, which I find silly, but hopefully something like that doesn't happen here. And like even talk about it does kind of annoy me, because it's kind of like, oh, you know, the fact I'm even talking about that after the first race isn't great, but I can deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. I want these drivers. I think we've got a really nice net grid here with pace wise, driving and, you know, racecraft wise maybe not so much, and we've got to improve on that. Yeah, there were some extremely dirty people who would, you know, sideswipe people down the straight or kill somebody on purpose. You know, and that's just not happening. I mean, we will definitely not be having that this season. That is extremely disrespectful to anybody's race. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens after this race. I hope everybody still races. But maybe I'm working myself up for nothing, maybe. Maybe it's just calm. Do you know what I mean? Maybe people are just like, yeah, it's alright. I got taken out, but, you know, I'll still race. Why not? I mean, Sauber Masterclass, that definitely came in early, because I definitely saw that earlier. I just didn't reply to it, sorry. Was too focused on people racing here. But George Pidding, still right up behind Christian. Now, I think Christian's mediums, are going to go off around now. Really. I think they're going to be around 40%. I think that's fair. 40%. And yeah, I think the hards are going to be much better in this situation for George Pidding. I really, really do. Actually, let me just do something real quick. Sorry, folks. Just give me one moment. Wow. Alright. Apologies about that. Had an issue. But we have sorted it. It's a-okay. Down into the first thing we're going to go here between George, Pudding and Christian. We've only got a little bit left of this dear race. 4 laps, season over. It's been hectic, chaotic, controversial, annoying. But whatever. It's a league race. It's motorsport racing. Let's go out and race, do you know what I mean? But anyways. George Pudding down the straight again, and look at that lap cars coming into a factory. That's bizarre now that's being lapped. And that's going to give DRS straight to Christian. Was it 35% by the way? No, Cabrado, we changed that rule a long time ago. We were going to do 35%, but people just really hated it. So I came up with the rule that we are going to have mandatory 2 stops, but for the races that we need them because of tyre wear. So, for example, Monza will definitely be a 2-stop because Monza is really bad for tyre wear and controller, but quite just okay for wheel users, which is quite unfair. So we're going to do mandatory 2 stops for Monza. We're going to do one for what is it? Monza and Britain. Britain's awful. At least affecting changes, they still get mad. Hey, like, look, I understand it. People just want to race more. And they might think it's not as professional, I think. When you're racing in a league that's only got 35%, which I can kind of see why, but, like, you know, I still think that going to 35% is actually better. It's always going to be a 1-stop, and you're gonna be more worried about an overtake because you haven't got as much time. I think it's better. Side with a 2-stop actually. I didn't see that. Side's got a 2-stop and he got a 10-second time penalty. Lucky. He can get that removed actually. He can get that removed if he doesn't box again because 10-second time penalty. Oh, here we go down the straight. This is going to be a lovely bit of action in between the Alpine. It's going to be 3 wide down the straight here. The McLaren, the Red Bull, and the Alpine. And down into the first turn, the Alpine slipped away, and down the inside goes Side. It's a 2-for-1 like a Tesco fucking meal deal. Lovely stuff from Side. He's up at a P6. Let me actually include that rule into the Charlie. Ooh, I'm just looking for a moment there. Not getting it though. Sorry about this, folks. But still, we got a good championship battle on our hands. Sorry here, side by side between Azuxi and Jackinator. Jackinator goes deep, very deep, and Azuxi still able to get into P7. Switchback potentially here for the Alpine. He's going to send it around the outside again. Lovely bit of racing here between the 2 drivers. But the Red Bull is going to be the... Oh, here we go, side by side just behind them as well. Umar and Mohammed Akun now going at it here. Down the straight we're going to go. A little bit of a closing down there by Mohammed, but he does keep the position nevertheless. Look at this DRS train. Down into the first, then we're going to go with Jacolator again. Round the outside he's going to go, and he gets the position. Very nicely done from him. And Umar stays behind as well. Very nicely done by these drivers here. We're now getting into a more safer race. There we go. So here we go, first study. Charlie down the inside is going to go on the Haas car. Sarpas is going to go with Joe the Super. And Joe the Super is going to stay ahead 30 seconds, by the way. I go pistol. Big up Net Cruise, sorry, man. Big up Net Cruise 51, man. Great to see you here, mate. You know? I'd love to see it. I apologise if this stream hasn't been too amazing. With, like, comms and that. I'm sorting some stuff out on my phone at the same time of commentating. Aside does go ahead of RBXJB. But yeah, slight apologies about that, but hopefully it's been entertaining enough. There has been some big moments which I've screamed at, which will be posted on TikTok, so, do you know what I mean? But George Pudding is right at the back of Christian here. Now listen, we're going to go on the final lap of this race. It's very easy to get a penalty removed to an RGR. I hate time penalties being the reason for why people lose a race or win a race. Therefore, I'm going to act as if George Pudding is not going to have a 3-second time penalty. Any Godzilla screams? Some earlier, some earlier, but not to the amount of high-pitched screaming in STV Las Vegas Tier 1. not to that extent, but there were some. They'll get posted on TikTok either way in Net Cruise, so if you want to follow it, RGR League on TikTok, and I guess for anybody as well, if you want to follow us on TikTok, a very strange moment there between RBX, JB, and Jacko. If you want to follow us on TikTok, RGR League, I think it is just that. And yeah, you can find the clips that I post on there. Left-hander here for George Pudding. We're on the final lap, folks. The last opportunity for George Pudding to get this race. He can get this 3-second time penalty removed. As round the outside is going to go. Hill, Christian, final lap. Last lap drummer. He's been shoved off track now by Christian. Very dangerous maneuver there. But round the outside is going to go into this right-hander. Round the outside. Contact! Oh my fucking God! He's been spun. Mini-spun there for the Ferrari. But still he's keeping P1. And Christian's going to keep P2. Across the line they're going to go. Christian finishes P2 on track, off track. That'll be P1 due to time penalties, but that 3 seconds can certainly get removed. So Christian does win on track tonight, but after the stewards report, that can very well change. Well, George putting on Christian. Yeah, some drivers lapped as well. I mean, that's rough. I mean, yeah, that's all the things you want to see. Especially Cal, but Cal, incredible race for him. Not as in, like, race fitness, of course. He's finished 17th. But incredible race from my point of view, as, you know, he's a driver that will just still race, even if he's in extremely unfortunate circumstances. I really do appreciate that. And yeah, it's love. All love for that. Mohammed's also got 3-second time penalty. There's been a lot of collisions happening on. And RBXJB has got a puncture. He's got a puncture. I can't believe it. What's happening to him? He's going to have to wheel himself across the line, unfortunately, for Esteban Ocon fan. Yeah, a bit of a hectic race. But the final results have been... And yeah, 80 Cal, yeah. Obviously not happy. I understand his frustration there. But yeah, him still continuing to race is fantastic. And RBXJB will trust across the line. That, folks, is going to be your season opener here in RGR. Bit hectic. A lot of stuff happened on the first lap. I'm assuming I'm going to get a lot of things to look at as he has spun. And he spun! But yeah, I assume we're gonna get a lot of things happen in the stewards report. So, yeah, yay! Nah, I'm gonna have to release a statement because I'm not happy about, you know, certain people just not racing well. I mean, like, you know, if somebody gets taken out, that's fine, but it's just to a point, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, RBXJB. I think he's gonna actually finish last place here with this puncture on the last lap, which is really frustrating, obviously, for him. Not good for Esteban Ocon fan, but nevertheless, he still trots across the line. The commit. Oh my fucking god! What the fuck? He got fucking murdered. He got fucking killed by the AI. Please allow it. What the fuck was that? He got fucking murdered by the AI. Just did not rate him. The AI just did not rate this guy. Just killed him. Fair enough. Fair enough, mate. What the fuck? Whatever. How's your race? RGR. Yeah, hectic. Say the least. Sorry, but yeah, it's an entertaining one at the very least. That's your top 10. Granite finishing in the top 10. You know when that, you know that something's wrong when that happens. You know what I mean? Granite said that himself. He does not know. I don't think he knows how he finished there. But that's it, folks. Mental. And hopefully we'll get some stuff sorted in Stupid Report, whatnot. And yeah, clearly you can see that Tom, sorry, not Tom, that Cal actually did have some pace because he got faster than that. I mean, obviously he's on softs, and you know some of the people weren't on softs, but yeah. Thank you for watching tonight's race. We will be back next week for Suzuka, Japan. Yeah, again, Tuesday, 8 PM. It will always be streamed here. I will always stream it because I'm league owner and I am a responsible man. So thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. That's been Australia. Thank you very much. Goodbye.